welcome back to Time Serve, the channel that scans the docket so you don't have to. And we have another gem from Brian Nicholas's friend of the courtroom. And today our title is He Exposed It, and yes, it is what you think it is. This child custody battle has everything that makes it a great watch for us court nerds. So sit back, relax, and enjoy He Exposed It. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and set your notifications to all and never miss the daily docket. Court is now in session. Let's roll, nerds.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
I'm going to indicate that judgment further consolidated that case into your earlier case filing, 2015-4122-DS. The older one being for your older child, the newest one for your younger. Now they're consolidated together, guys. And you just always use the 2015 case filing. The only thing that is different is I think I stated the plaintiff and defendant wrong. The most recent filing was dad as plaintiff, and the older one, ma'am, was you as the plaintiff. Am I correct? The 2015 case? All right. So, guys, I stand corrected. This is plaintiff, mother, defendant, father. All right. So, ma'am, this is your opportunity to tell the court why you're requesting a modification of custody. And then, sir, we'll give you a full opportunity to respond once Ms. Tour is done. Okay?
Yes, sir.
For your honor, I am moving to have full custody of my children because they have come to my home on my visiting time, and they both express signs of abuse and neglect, and there's been many. I have attached some police reports from the most recent one where my 3-year-old has gotten out of the house and was nearly hit by a smart bus. They both exhibit signs of mental abuse, mostly from their father's fiance, Shauna Benjamin. My oldest daughter, Liliana, has told me that she's been disciplined with a wooden paddle that Shauna herself has backhanded her in the mouth and the head. My youngest daughter has told me herself upon pickup that Miss Benjamin slapped her in the mouth and the hands before she got into the car. There's been just a lot going on as far as like that goes, and I'm just really concerned for their safety, their mental health. I have Liliana in therapy. She's been to 2 visits in my care as of recent. She's got some planned. Actually, one is for tomorrow. Liliana has expressed to me that she does not want to go home. She doesn't want to go back to that house, that she feels that she's being treated unfairly, not only by Mr. Barrett, but Mrs. Benjamin, because he allows her to treat the children this way. And it's just concerning for me because when I pick up my children and they are both crying to me, and then at drop off, they cry to me about not wanting to go back. They're afraid to go back. And Liliana has expressed to me her fear that she does not want to go back, especially because she has told her truth about what goes on in that home. There's been things like one of the younger but older sons has stuck his penis through a hole in his pants and dared my daughter to touch it. And rather than correcting
when do you assert that happened?
This was last year.
And how say there's other boys?
I'm sorry.
Who are these boys?
They're Mrs. Benjamin's children, Austin and Alex, I think, and Zachary.
How old are they?
Between the ages of 8 and 10, I believe. I don't know her children personally. I don't know. But
how old are your daughters right now?
3 and 9.
Okay. And when this happened last year, did you call Mr. Barrett and you guys have a conversation about it, or what occurred?
I'm blocked. We speak through a mobile app called App Close, and Mr. Barrett is not allowed to co-parent with me because of his infidelity and his fiance's concern for his infidelity, because I have had incidences with him. I was trying to get my family back, so I acted upon these actions from him, and I was blamed and belittled and told that I was a slut and a whore in front of both of my children. they've done a lot.
When do you assert that occurred?
This was last July when him and I had relations, and it came out.
So you guys are thinking about getting back together, or you were attempting to get back together?
He had let on that like there was a possibility. So I've turned my life around. They painted a very ugly picture of me, and yes, I did have a drug problem, but I have 2 years of sobriety. I maintained clean drug tests in the 2 years. I now live with Mr. Barrett's parents. His mother actually does random drug tests, 16 panel, and I've passed every drug test. I still have maintained my 2 to 3 meetings a week.
Okay. And so your guys' most recent judgment was September of last year. What happened in September of last year that ended up with Mr. Barrett getting physical custody and you every other weekend?
I was in the 3-hoarder house at that time. I did not have a way to provide a place for my children to stay.
Okay.
So most of the visits have happened here at Mr. Barrett's parents' home.
Okay. So that's one at a time, and I'm just trying to take this one. And why were you in a 3-quarters house? What was your addiction associated with?
Problem. Yes, I was addicted.
What was? Okay.
Pain pills.
Go ahead.
Back in 2016, when I was diagnosed with lupus, my doctor prescribed me pain pills. And when my father had passed away in 2019, it just kind of snowballed. Because I was on those.
But you've been in treatment. And how long have you been sober?
2 years.
Okay, and so you're living with Mr. Barrett's parents right now.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? And how long have you been with his parents?
About a year.
Okay, and do they get along with their son, Mr. Barrett?
No, they do not. They were also alienated away from their son. Their son was alienated away from them from Mrs. Benjamin as well.
And that's his wife or his girlfriend?
That's his fiance.
Okay, so just slow down because I know there's a lot of. So in September 22, a custody order enters, awarding him physical custody. You're in a 3-quarters house. And was there criminal charges associated with why you're in a 3-quarter? You were there just coming out of rehab and going there
my own accord.
Through the program. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So when do you move in with his mom and dad? You said about a year ago. When in the summer, fall?
September.
Okay, so right around when the judgment was entered. And so how soon thereafter did the kids start telling you that
right away.
Things that made you concerned about abuse by his girlfriend or now fiance?
Right away. It started with the son poking his penis through a hole and them blaming Liliana rather than getting her therapy or help. They blamed her for it. So,
and this is the first time you've come back to court to express these things. Have you called law enforcement or child protective services? Have there been any investigations? Has been called,
yes, several times.
When's the last? So if they've been called several times, what has been the results of their investigations?
Well, the most recent one was just a couple of weeks ago because Liliana had finally let out that because I wasn't aware that Lucy had gotten out of their house more than one time. I sent in a police report that states the neighbor even shows that.
So when you keep saying that, you said these reports, I don't see any police reports or anything attached to your motion.
I sent them to the fax file at macombgov.org. I sent my timesheets for when I go to my meetings. I sent the police reports.
So what address did you send it to?
I sent it through an email. The lady told me I could send it through one of the women. It's overlapping, so I feel like I'm interrupting you. I'm not trying to interrupt you, sir.
No, it's okay. There's a little bit of delay in Zoom, so I don't mean to interrupt you either. I'm just trying to locate where this potentially was because I don't see it unless it went to spam, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just sent it to fax filing at macombgov.org. I can resend.
Okay, yeah, that's not my direct. So that may be lost right now where they're trying to find out where to route it.
Guys.
It wasn't, you didn't send it to the front of the court?
There was a email that when I filed my motion, one of the people down there had highlighted that I could send anything extra that I didn't attach with the original motion. So that's what I had done. I didn't know there was the direct.
Yeah, I don't know where it would have went. Do you have any idea where it would have went? Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what email they're referring to because, because you could send that stuff to me at my email address, because I'm not sure where that went. The clerk's office usually only accepts pleadings, meaning motions, orders, things of that nature, and not random. So they may have rejected it, but I don't even see rejected filing. So I'm not really sure where it's at. But anyways, so
I have a pen and a paper.
what has been, well, I don't have time right now. I have numerous motions to look at whatever you want to send. But more importantly has CPS ever substantiated any abuse or neglect at Mr. Barrett's house in these multiple investigations that you're talking about?
Not that I'm not sure. I know there was one in progress, but I don't know what happened to it. I haven't heard back.
So out of how many CPS investigations do you think there's been since September of last year?
I know that the police have reported it to when they came to the home for Lucy getting out. I know there was 2 of them from them, and then 1 for sure from me.
So what was the one 2 weeks ago? Was that about physical violence?
Yes, and also the fact that Lucy had gotten out and almost hit by a bus. And
and they've never followed up with you, the child protective service worker?
I haven't heard anything back yet. I'm not saying that she has not or will not, but I have not yet.
Okay. And tell me about any alleged physical violence. You said that they alleged that his fiance, your daughter, slapped her in the face. And how long ago did she allege that occurred?
This was just a couple weeks ago. This has all been while I've had them. I had them. I picked them up and I kept them because of all the things that have come out.
So how long have they been with you?
Since June, I want to say 21st-ish.
So they've been with you for over a month?
Yes. And I called CPS and she said if I felt that there was safety issues, I could keep them until the court date. I know that's not her.
Okay, well, I was going to say she doesn't have the power to say that. Why did you schedule your hearing over a month after you retained the children from him? So you filed this way back in June for a hearing in August. Why did you take so long to get it before the court?
Because I wanted to have all my paperwork together, but apparently it still didn't make it to you.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where that went, but that central fax filing number is not for the front of the court. And again, the clerk's office generally only accepts pleadings. So Mr. Barrett, do you want to shed light on any of this? Have you recently contacted by Child Protective Services?
Yes, sir. Actually, I know a lot of what Mr. was saying there. It broke up a lot. I don't know if it was on my end or whose end it was, but I was getting
Am I breaking up or is she breaking up?
You seem fine, but when she was speaking, it was very choppy and robot. I missed a lot of what she said. So
she alleges that. So I'll summarize some of it. She says that she has had the children since June 21st. She alleges that your fiance is abusive to them, verbally and physically, having slapped your one daughter across the face. She says that your fiance's sons, one exposed his penis to your daughter about a year ago. She said there's been 3 CPS investigations, the most current one going on now. She does not know the results of any of them. So the question is one, have you been contacted recently by Child Protective Services?
Yes, sir. Actually, I have. And business card here, actually, from Natalie Betchel. It was from CPS. I have her direct line if you would like it. That case was closed immediately the day that she came out to my home because these were all old allegations and she could tell none of it was true. It was all a bunch of just stuff drummed up.
Have you filed any parenting time denial complaints? So why have you left the kids with her for over a month?
Well, I went about it in what I understood. From my understanding, I've never been in a situation where I thought was the legal and proper way to go about it. I know I can't go out there and get them. So I did contact Macomb County Sheriff's Office, which I also have the officer's name. I have the and date here.
Did you contact the parenting time department at the front of the court?
Yes, sir. I
did you
did.
not?
I also
And what was their response?
It was the same thing. She said, there's not much anybody can do as far as actually picking up my children. She said, basically, whatever parent has custody, you have to just file your motions and then basically let the court, the court system do its thing, which is what I was doing. But I did.
So they said that they wouldn't contact her for failure to return your child while you had custody. The parenting time department wouldn't do that.
That is the only woman. I don't recall her name, Your Honor, but she was in the enforcement department of front of the court.
Okay.
She did make notation in the notes, so I don't know if you're able to look at that stuff and see, but she said there were notes that were made. I did call after I spoke with the police and made a police report and heard what they had to say. I spoke with her and told her that I had made a police report and that my children had been basically kidnapped. I didn't agree to any of this. They were taken on false pretense and accusations against a court order. And so they said, well, you have to do this. So I filled out the paperwork. She said that she would reach out. She said that she had reached out twice, not once, but twice. And also Natalie here from CPS said that she had reached out several times and told her that it was not wise or legal for Mrs. Tour to keep my children away from me against a court order and do what she was doing, especially without any type of, reasoning behind it, just other listening to what a child's saying, which, I love my daughter to death, but she is very much a pot stirrer. She goes back and forth. She does the same thing over here. She comes over.
Okay.
What's going on over there?
All right.
I mean,
so it shows that you did call in July, and ma'am, it indicates that the notes from the parenting time enforcement officer said that you alleged that his house was unsafe as electrical wires were hanging from the walls and he has a pool. That's dangerous.
The reason I said those things was because my daughter has told me that she's been shocked by the wire of an exposed light switch in her bedroom, which my 3-year-old also resides in. And also, yes, I do think the pool is dangerous if he's allowing her to get out not once, but 3 times, Your Honor. I think that's very unsafe. If he can't even keep her in the house, what's going to happen when she's in the pool? She's going to drown.
Is there a reason you didn't put this in your motion or tell me these things that you told the parenting time enforcement person?
They were all in my letter that I had rewrote to you and sent in. I'm not sure where they went. I just followed what the lady down at the filing office had told me to do. I have the sheet in front of me where she had highlighted the email. I can show you. She said that I could add anything else I may have forgotten or didn't bring with me that day. And there was things that I had forgotten at home, like the police reports. I didn't have all my sheets for my NA meetings together. And I also didn't have the police reports with me as well. So I also have letters from Liliana's in therapy. I have letters from her therapist that have sent to that same email. There's multiple letters that have come to with my explanation on why.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because the email, usually, even if they reject it, I would see rejected filings through the e-system with the clerks, and I don't see any of this stuff. I'm not saying you're not telling me the truth. I'm just saying I don't see it. Well,
if you'd like, I can read them.
So let me ask. No,
I have them in front.
So what is the letter from her therapist going to tell me if I had it in front of me?
It's going to tell you about the abuse that she experiences. She's a mandated reporter, and this woman is supposed to report that. And she asked me if I called CPS, and I said, yes, ma'am, I did. And nothing was done. So I mean, I can't help it that they closed the case, but I did do what I thought was keep my
sir, do you
safe.
believe in corporal punishment in your home? Do either one of you believe in corporal punishment? Do you know what that means?
Yes, sir. And no, there's no abuse in this house. Like Ms. Tour said, so CPS has been in my home several times. Not.
So there's no wooden paddle.
Stop, ma'am. You guys don't get to talk to each other. I'm asking the questions right now. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
So that was where I was going. She says your daughter claims that she is spanked with a wooden paddle by your fiance. You want to respond to that?
No, Your Honor, there is not. We do have a wood paddle that we threaten with, but there has never been any type of hitting with or anything. It's just more of a scare tactic. And my children have been disciplined. It has always been by me. My fiance does not discipline my children because of this reason right here, because of fear of this and what Miss Tour would do with.
Well, if you're wielding it and threatening, and she's saying you're using it, which one am I supposed to believe?
Yeah, there's no use of it. And like I said, CPS has been at my house several times. There's never been any type of bruising or abuse or anything like that. They've been out here multiple times. They've kids all in all together, Your Honor. The thing is, in my household, we have structure, we have a curriculum, there's rules. There's not, she goes over here and visits her mother, my children do, and it's a big free time. There's no bedtimes. It's just, play video games, sit on tablets, electronic.
So what's going on with your parents that she lives with your mom and dad and you don't have a good relationship with them? What's that about?
Oh, because they chose to totally and write me off and bring in and house my ex that was hooked up on all kinds of drugs and unfaithful and everything.
Why do you think they're endeared to, as you quote unquote, your drug addicted ex who's unfaithful? Why would they pick her over you?
Well, I think it boils down back to, because when this all first took place, Your Honor, everything was fine and everybody had somewhat of a decent relationship. But it was basically, if I couldn't jump or skip to the beat of whenever my parents wanted to see the grandchildren, my daughters, whenever they wanted or needed to, it seemed like it was a problem. And then, there were some things that were said to my fiance, some things that were kind of upsetting to me and her. And I tried to speak to my parents about it. And everything just kind of spiraled downhill. And like I said, and they chose to basically put up in shelter and house my ex because of the grandchildren, because they want to be involved with that. And she's there with them all the time. So whenever she has them, it's, they can see them as much as they want to.
But were they not seeing them when they were with you?
Oh, they were, Your Honor, but it wasn't when they wanted it. If I had to work or, I had to go shopping, or God forbid I had something going on with my family, it was a problem, and I was, this, I was that. So,
but do you think they'd go as far as saying you have an abusive fiance? And I think we just lost. Let's hold on here. We just lost Miss Tour here. I don't know if her phone conked out or she disappeared. Why don't I just have you wait a second, see if she returns?
That's no problem, Your Honor.
While I'm asking, I'll repeat it when here. Do you think your parents would go so far as to want you prosecuted for possible child abuse, or would support her in saying that you or your fiance are abusive? I mean, are they that malicious that they would do that?
Yes, Your Honor. It is, as terrible as that is to say, I do 100% believe that, sir, because the fact that these people, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and, try to sound
well, these people are your parents. These people are your parents, right?
All right. I believe me, I was raised very to respect my elders and my parents. And I mean, I'm not, this new age stuff. I'm very old school raised, and it breaks my heart to have to disown myself and be away from my parents. And I've even gone as far as to try to tell my mother that and my father that, I don't like this, that I don't want it to be this way. And nothing changes. They told me, oh, well, we'll get rid of Kaylee. We'll have to have her go on her way and stuff. We can build our relationship back, and nothing's changed.
So let's move to a different issue. Why do you think your 9-year-old's potentially saying all these things to her mom and your mom and dad, her grandparents?
A lot of it, Your Honor. A lot of it, to me, seems like it's coached. A lot of it is put on her. And I mean, at the end of the day, she's a child, and I mean, she likes the fun times. Lily's very hyper energetic. She has, she does very well in school academically, but she lately has been getting in trouble in school a lot with like her attitude and her.
This 1 second, it looks like she's back.
Okay.
And we're just waiting for her to connect.
Okay, Your Honor.
I apologize. I don't know what happened there.
Okay. All right. So where are you going? I was asking Mr. Barrett why he thought his mom and dad would side against him. And we were having a dialogue about that. He also indicated that your daughter, he feels is coached and maybe making some of this stuff up. Proven by the fact he hasn't been substantiated or had legal action brought against him. Didn't quite put it that way, but that's how I'm going to summarize it here. Mr. Barrett, do you take issue with anything I just said and how I summarized it to Ms. Tour?
No, Your Honor, that seems pretty accurate.
All right. And I had asked him specifically why he thinks his parents would support allegations that could get him in trouble legally or charged with a crime, him or his fiance. And we didn't really have a resolution of that other than they see their grandchildren more this way. And let me see this. Is Ross still back there? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Can you check real quick? No, I just want to know if he's here real quick before he leaves. And guys, I'm just inquiring as to if the family court psychologist is still here. And neither one of it, and sir, you believe that the current CPS investigation was immediately closed. You don't think there's an open investigation at all?
No, sir. I know for a fact it was because Miss Natalie Betchel here, I charged. She come out and spoke with me. I spoke with her on the phone, and she came to my home. She did a quick walkthrough. She talked about the allegations. A lot of the allegations that were placed against me were old, taken care of in a previous CPS investigation, Your Honor, that were already dismissed and closed.
Okay.
A lot of it was basically just drummed up again. And she said that she was going to shut the case immediately. She says, I'm going to go out of here, and this case is your house.
What? Okay. What city do each of you? Go ahead.
I would say she
No,
checked
go ahead. I know.
Yeah, the light switch that supposedly is shocking everybody and everything. But by the way, Your Honor, I just wanted to say that my home that me and my fiance live in, we're right here in downtown Mount Clemens, the historic side. We have a 1903 home. It's a historic home. So we are in the middle of remodeling it as well and fixing up with our 6 children. So the switch in the room was a old twist style. I don't know if you're familiar with like type knob.
Familiar.
So that was replaced though, and it was never a shock like going to kill anybody or doing detrimental. It was like basically a little like a 12-volt battery, if that. Like
so she got your daughter did get a zap from it.
Well, yeah, everybody in the house has before, but that has been replaced a while ago.
Okay.
It was updated with a.
So when you say there's 4 children, I've heard 2 boys and your 2 daughters. What other children are present?
Yes. We have my stepchildren, Shauna, my fiance's children. There's Lanio, the older teenage daughter, and then there's Alec, the older teenage boy, and then there's Zachary and Austin, which are the middle boys, and then there's my 2 daughters. So we have 6 all.
So the other 4 children are your fiance's children.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're not my biological.
Right. All right. So, and ma'am, what city are you in?
New Haven.
And I'll be honest, why I'm asking is I'm considering adjourning this to the next week and having you bring the girls in to be interviewed by Dr. Beckley. And the ages are 9, and what's your youngest age?
3.
Okay, so 3 is too young to be interviewed, to be quite frank. Give me 1 second here. Let me step out.
Give me a chance to get all the papers together then.
All right. So guys, if you wonder what I was doing, the family court psychologist, his office is behind, behind my chambers, in my chamber. So I'm inclined, guys, I'll be honest, to adjourn this till next week, Monday, and have you, ma'am, bring your daughter in for Dr. Beckley. You're going to have to call that number and arrange. It's probably going to be, what's your availability? Do you have transportation? Are you available Wednesday or Thursday?
Completely available. Myself.
He has external office and the court. I'm going to give you a number. So my recommendation today is going to be that one, plaintiff's motion is adjourned to Monday, August 14th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. to allow the parties minor child and your older daughter's name is
Liliana.
Liliana. All right. To allow the parties minor child Liliana to be interviewed by the family court psychologist, Dr. Ross Beckley. 2, plaintiff mother shall contact Dr. Beckley at 586-291-9744 to arrange a time in which Dr. Beckley can interview the party's 9-year-old daughter.
Can I confirm the phone number? You said 586-291-9744.
And we're going to email you a copy of this order, guys, as well.
Can I
And
also
you guys can
send you,
go ahead.
like,
Go. Say
before
that
this-
again, ma'am.
May I please have your email so that I can email you those documents that I had set up for this?
My document email is referee-nicholas at referee REFEREE dash, not underscore, dash, the middle one,
Okay.
Nicholas. And it don't cut the A out of my name. It's Nicholas like the first name. If you cut the A out, I won't get it. It's not Nichols. It's Nicholas like the first name. NICHOLAS at
Okay.
macomb.gov.org. I'm going to put Dr. Beckley shall interview the minor child regarding the current allegations before the court. And in order to make a recommendation as to whether parenting time should be suspended, supervised in any way. And then, guys, we will get Dr. Beckley's impression, and I will hear this motion again next Monday. At that time, I'll make another recommendation of which you can object for 21 days. But I'm going to have Dr. Beckley interview your daughter. I'm going to further put 3. Front of the court custody department. I'm going to put this: the chief friend of the court custody investigator shall obtain the status of any current CPS investigation for review at the adjournment date. So we have some access to protective services. I'm going to have my chief custody investigator is the one who does the communication with them. So I'm going to see what the status is. We have it on next Monday. I'm going to have your daughter interviewed by the family court psychologist. I'm going to take consideration of both those things. Any further arguments you guys have next Monday, and then I'll make a further recommendation on whether or not to restrict, suspend, or change Mr. Barrett's parenting time in custody. Okay. So as of today, I'm going to have, so ma'am, you got to get on the phone right away.
Yes.
Call Dr. Beckley, arrange to have him interview your daughter. And then I'm going to have my custody liaison talk to CPS and get any status of any current investigation. And if not, if it's been substantiated or closed, and then I'll see everybody back next Monday. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You're on.
Now realize, go ahead, Mr. Barrett.
I just wanted to say real quick, I don't know if it would help you or not. Would you like the woman, Natalie, would you like her information that did the case?
Guys, I'm not an investigator. I don't obtain information for you. You guys present it to me. I don't call people. I don't investigate things. That's what my investigative department does if I refer for investigation, but I don't obtain that stuff. You guys have to present it to the court. I'm not an investigator to obtain your information for you. I can order stuff to be obtained, but I don't call people or talk to them ex parte outside of the court. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. I wasn't sure.
Now, any order I entered, you can object to. You will be getting objection procedure along with this. And I'm going to also fax Dr. Beckley's information. I'll fax it to both of you. This is his external office. So guys, realize Dr. Beckley's employed part-time for the court. For people with low incomes, we can refer so you don't have to pay a private cost. This is his private office. But I'm going to fax you a copy of his phone, office, and fax number and email along with this order, okay? And then that's, so you'll have it both in this order and that. If you guys don't like this recommendation, for instance, if either one of you don't like this or Mr. Barrett, you're like, I don't like delaying this, you can object and ask for a hearing before the judge. That's your right. Both of you will get the objection procedure and have the right to object, but if not, this is still a temporary order, even pending those objections. So I'll still see you guys next Monday. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And hopefully with the help of Dr. Beckley, and if we can find the status of any CPS investigation, that'll assess me, and then I'll make a further determination next Monday, okay?
Your Honor, I just have one real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to know, we communicate through the App Close app, which was in our last court order recommended, and that's how we've communicated the whole time. Now, there's some things in there that I was interested in maybe having the court see. How would I go about? Okay.
I would either print those off probably to produce to the court. You can print those off.
Okay.
You should be able to print those off.
Okay, so just print them and send them to email?
Yeah, to that referee-nicholas@macomb.gov.org. I'll put in here in this order, any documentation, but guys, realize when you send me something, you have to send a copy to the other party. If you want me to look at anything, the court, you should be sending copies of all this stuff to each other, because you guys have a right to see what's being presented to me. So anything you guys are sending to me prior to a hearing to review, you should be sending to each other as well. So ma'am, anything you send me, you should be sending to him. And sir, anything you're sending me, you should be sending to her. All right. I'm going to put in here, parties may send documentation for the hearing to this address. Parties are required to send copies of any information sent to the court to each other, or any proposed exhibits to the court to each other as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. So you guys, if you have any questions regarding procedurally how to object, if you want to object, you can call my office. We're going to send you a copy of this order and the objection procedure, and I'll see everybody via Zoom next Monday at 1:30. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
All right. Have a good day, everybody. Okay. Bye-bye.
You too.